We're back!
Yay! It's been a while.
Hello, Wildflowers. I'm Judy.
I'm Carol.
And I am Peggy.
And why has it been a while?
Well, it really shouldn't have been a while. We were going to post our number 62 podcast, but Peggy, what happened?
Well, the podcast was great. And then
it was recorded.
when I got home and I was putting it all together in Photoshop, after it was finished, I downloaded it and I said, I always skim through it a little bit to make sure everything's fine. And I said, how come there's no sound? And I said, I must have the volume down. I looked, the volume's up. Then I checked my laptop, the volume was up. So then I said, what the heck is going on? So I took the SD card out and I put it in my camera again, and there was no sound on my camera either. So then I put it in my TV. I used the little drive.
You were really thorough.
And I put it in my
She
TV.
was scared.
I was scared to death to tell you guys that
Right.
that whole podcast had no audio. So that's what happened. The podcast had no audio because I forgot to turn on the microphone. We use an external microphone, and once it's plugged into the camera, it cuts off the camera's microphone, and I switched the wrong button to turn on the microphone.
So we have the video, but we don't have audio.
Yeah, the video was great.
We should do
it was like a silent movie.
We should do a fun one where we dub over ourselves.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm trying to find the text that she sent us. Wait.
And of course, it was my wine and my topic.
That's
Yes,
right. I
yes.
sabotaged
She
her
did. She
topic.
hijacked my wine or topic the last time, and then she doesn't record.
And her wine was a $65 bottle of wine called Flowers. And her topic was really interesting. She read our medicine cards.
Yes.
And so I was a grouse.
Well, and I am a butterfly.
And I know we didn't do it, but I did just want to tell you that, so what it means, here's a little short thing. Grouse is a sacred spiral, meaning that's what it means. It's like you're a sacred spiral. And I just passed
I'm
you
spiraling out of control.
And your meaning for it was to discover your personal power. That's your goal, to discover your personal power. Whereas Carol, hers was really, cool, was the butterfly. Your means transformation. And
she's still in her
and it's clearly see your process of transformation. So that's your goal, your journey there. So you've got a lot of transforming to do.
And you were a wolf, right?
Yeah, I was. Interesting. Which is not interesting. I wanted to mention because we did the Jamie Sam's versions. There are different versions of it. Wolf is not in that one.
Oh.
Which is why, but I was
in the one that you
in
read
the pack that I read.
Oh.
But I was introduced to it by somebody who gave me a reading. And
okay.
that's how that all happened. So anyway.
Oh, interesting. Well, we'll have to revisit.
Yeah.
Yes,
definitely.
It really was a curveball because the first thing Peggy wrote to us, bad news, ladies. There was no sound on the second podcast, and then she explained what she explained to you. So we didn't hate her. We didn't.
They didn't. I was really scared, and I felt really bad.
Wait.
Well, you know what? Yeah, because you guys are always threatening to kick me out of the podcast.
I thought it was
yes,
you
they
guys
are.
threatening.
They always
you threatened to kick me out when I walked in here 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
Today.
Well,
they're really
It's
tough.
a very strict podcast, as you can see.
We have to keep her. She has the camera.
I have the camera. I have safety.
Yeah, and we also have 2 other visitors today.
Oh my
I am
goodness.
taking care of dogs. I'm dog sitting. I have Tiny Sadie and a big golden doodle.
It's like 2 different
absolutely. And then a golden doodle named Cody. And
he's humongous.
yes, he's very big, but we'll see how this works. We just don't want them to knock into the camera.
They're actually great. She's got 5 dogs here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
my house
Very
is
good.
chaos with 3 going on right now.
Yeah.
Which, for those of you who are interested in Wildflowers' journey,
her dog,
the rescue that we found, she's gained 11 pounds in
That's
3
awesome.
weeks.
That's awesome.
And the woman who rescued her actually gave reached out to the rescue and sent the video of the moment that she was rescued, which you don't really get normally.
That's
so she was found in the Bronx.
Oh, it was the Bronx.
It was the Bronx.
Okay.
She was found by the Bronx Parkway, I think.
Right.
She showed me the actual location, and she's a real estate agent, and we've been keeping in touch. She's very nice.
Oh.
So, anyway.
So if anyone wants to consider adopting,
she's really sweet.
Where could they find it?
You can go to Peace Love Rescue New York website on Facebook, a Facebook page, or the Wildflower page. Just ping us, and I'll put you in contact as well.
Sure.
She's a very sweet dog, and would make a really good pet.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think that is great. Very important. But you know what's odd today is that something that's I don't know if our viewers noticed that there's not one, there's not two, but there's 3 bottles of wine here. And actually when we first started doing the podcast, that's what we did. We each had our own wine.
Oh, we did?
We did. I forgot about that. You're right.
Oh, I don't even remember
We
that.
did, and it took too long.
I must have been drunk.
Yes, we each.
Oh, that's right. It did. That's right.
Oh, that's right. We did get drunk now.
That's right.
Yeah.
But so I don't know if we should just start pouring and talking. And
Yeah, so now this is our look back at 2023. So we each bought a wine. Well, Judy bought one that she never tasted.
I did. I didn't get the memo. I didn't pay attention. I bought a new
I'm
one.
the only one who paid attention. We were all supposed to bring a wine that we tasted during 2023.
Sorry.
And
I bought a new one.
Share it or not.
well, it's still 2023, so we can taste it.
So I bought a Palma V&A, which we all liked, and we all gave it 5 Wildflowers. It was a very good one. So does anybody want a little bit? Like we have extra glasses here.
I'll do that
You
one.
could do a little taste, just a little you want, or a lot?
That's Judy.
Yeah,
I want to
just want a
touch
little,
because I can't drink white and red. That's enough.
Whoopsie.
Thank you.
Oh, I remember this one. Yes.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Okay. All right. So, all right, are we toasting right now? So, well, it's going to be the new year in a couple of days, but also it's our guest that we had last time, Lisa. It's her husband's birthday today, Chuck's birthday.
That was my son-in-law's birthday.
And it's
Peter.
Peter's
Oh, and
birthday.
Peter, happy birthday.
And my sister's birthday's tomorrow, and my brother's birthday's January 4th.
Oh my goodness.
And there's
My birthday's April. My sister's birthday is June 14th.
Well, I'm going to January.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I have a lot
happy
to we'll just say
birthday.
happy birthday to everybody.
Yep, there you go.
Cheers.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, I still like it.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
What's the name of this one again? I have to write
This
that
is
down.
Palma. This is actually a Long Island wine.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I do like a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal your pen for a minute.
That's totally fine.
Palma
Okay.
And how
V&A.
much was the price point for that?
Well, it's funny because at the vineyard it's $28, but in Total Wine it was $19.99 or $21.99. I can't remember. About $20.
All right.
They always charge you more at the vineyard. I don't know why.
All right.
All right.
What
All
did you bring, Carol?
Well, this was a gift from my daughter-in-law for Christmas because she knows I like Bordeaux. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to taste it. Let's hope I like it.
Can I borrow your pen? Because I forgot my
They
pen.
don't come with their own pens.
I usually do. It might be over there.
All right, we're going to have to get more tasting glasses, I
Oh, yes.
realize.
Oh, yeah,
No.
you wrote it down.
Peggy's closer.
Okay.
It's right there. And Peggy, I'm going to pour this in your tasting glass because, all right. This is going to be a very scrambled podcast.
That's okay.
Because, you know, it's, we're trying to make up for the one that got screwed up, but we're also trying to look back on 2023. Very good. And just
Reflect.
reflect, shooting the breeze.
And the things to look forward to in 2024, right?
Exactly.
Like the state of Maine.
Yes, exactly. And my
Okay.
book being published.
Yes.
Oh, this is pretty color.
This
It's
is,
purple.
now you open this, I see.
Yes.
Have you tasted this before? So let's look
Oh,
at
so
it.
you
that would
have
be
a new
enough.
wine.
Yeah, I have a new one. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I said. I'm the only one who listened.
Oh, that's nice.
So the color,
Oh, you bought the charts.
I
Yay,
did.
I forgot.
so I would say
I would
this
say
is
this
purple.
one.
Oh, really?
That's what I would say.
Mm,
But you're
it's
always
so
better
dark.
at this than
I
me.
don't know.
To me, it looks more on the purplish.
What did I point to?
You part to garnet.
Garnet? Okay. Yeah, I would say
It could
garnet.
be ruby too.
I would say garnet.
So anyway, evidently we're not very good at identifying the colors of wine.
and it is a 14% alcohol
Oh.
content,
wow.
14.5.
This one here is only 12%.
Well, that's good.
And how much is
Did we
this, do you
taste
know?
it?
Oh, I don't know, it was a
Oh, I
gift.
taste.
Oh,
I've
you
been
did?
drinking.
Oh.
It's a gift, so I'm not sure.
Oh, you didn't look at. Okay.
I don't know,
Oh,
so I can't say. Yeah.
I think it's dry.
It's dry. It definitely is. Well, it's a Bordeaux,
So my
but
alley.
there's a little bitterness to it.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
A little acidic, would you say, too?
What causes the bitterness? Is that a type
The
of fruit?
tannins, I think,
Tannin.
and the acidity.
So it's 51% Merlot, 48% Cab, Cabernet Sauvignon, and a Cabernet Franc, 1%.
Cabernet Franc.
Franc, yes, and it's
Oh,
ideally, okay, open it ideally within 6 years. It's good with red meats and cheeses. Best
bought
serve at 60, 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And it is, it's imported by Garden City, New York, but it is from France, obviously.
Yeah, it's from
And it's
Bordeaux.
a 2018.
Hmm.
So, there you go. I would give mine, since, how many wildflowers, gals?
Yeah, I would do 3.75.
I was thinking of that or 4.
Yeah.
Maybe I go up to a 4.
Yeah.
I would drink because I like it dry and I do like.
I
very
like it dry.
wine.
It's
Yeah.
there's
It's a
something
good
about
dry
that
wine.
that finish that's
And it's not very heavy, so I don't think it's heavy. Do you?
no.
No.
Okay.
Well, I would say 3.75.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so now
Okay.
my turn. I bought a new wine. This one is called Laval, and I thought it was going to be a new varietal for us because I didn't recall.
I think that I did an
it is
but
Albarino.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe
From
I
Spain.
just had it at home because I
Can I
had
have
a couple of them.
glass? There you are.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And the reason why I was 15 minutes late is
Right,
because
that's right.
I left this in the refrigerator and I had to go back. So this
Just a touch. I'm not going to. That's enough. That's
that's
enough.
enough for you? Okay.
That's yours. This is
Yeah.
mine.
Oh, then I'll give you a
No,
little
this
more.
is my.
Oh, that's your other one.
Yeah.
Oh, so now I have to get another glass.
Oh, okay. Oh yes.
And you've got your glass to
Oh yes, I'll pour my.
That one glass.
Okay.
Oops.
So, this is from Spain. It's 2022, and I learned a little something about Albarinos. Is a variety of white grape indigenous to Galicia, northwest Spain, although its growth is also authorized in other countries like Portugal. It's strong and delicate in flavor and body. It's complex white wine with a floral fragrance, and acidity leads to a long finish, making it a great match for many dishes, especially seafood. So that's just in general about the varietal, not about this particular one.
Okay. All right.
So what do we think? Oh, it's very floral.
Oh, wow.
It's very like Sauvignon.
It's very floral.
Blanc.
That hit me right at the nose.
The taste was like, wow. Very sour.
Yeah, it's like Sauvignon Blanc. It's very like
See, I like sour.
fruity.
This was recommended to me by the woman, one of the managers there at
Stu Leonard's.
Stu Leonard's.
Farmingdale Wines.
Yeah.
It's good. I do like it. I mean, I've bought it before, different brands.
Mm.
I think I originally tasted it in some restaurant that we went to.
It's
We went to a
strong.
restaurant?
Yeah, once in a while we go to a restaurant.
You're right. It is like a Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is. It's not
Okay.
as grapefruity, but yeah,
No.
it's definitely fruity and
Okay.
citrusy.
Can you
Yes.
see us over these?
I
wine
know,
bottles?
really. That's
So
a lot of wine.
this was
Yeah.
about $26.
Oh wow!
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't
that's
have a
Stu
price
Leonard's.
point because
That's
it was
okay.
a gift, but
Who bought it for you?
Anya,
Anya.
Anya did. Yes. Yes.
All right.
indeed.
So which one do you like the best out of your 3?
Well,
Well,
I
I like the V&A out of the 3 because I'm a white wine drinker anyway.
and I like my Bordeaux the best
Yeah.
because I'm a Bordeaux drinker. How about you, Miss Judy?
I think it depends on the mood. I think
Yeah.
I'll go with the Bordeaux though.
Yeah.
I'll
okay.
go with the
Yeah.
Bordeaux.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so there we are.
Yeah. Well, you know, one thing that we did do in the last one that we didn't get to hear, and I don't know if Peggy remembers,
these are
but
so
she
good.
had the word of the year. I think that was in the podcast
Yes.
number 62.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the same.
Oh.
Do you
Well, there
remember?
were 3 different words
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
year by 3 different dictionaries.
Yes.
One of them was hallucinate.
No, we never said that one before.
Yeah, we did.
No, you
I have it
No, we
written down
didn't.
right here.
But we didn't say it on
But
the
you
podcast.
didn't say it. That's
Just-
okay. She's saying it now.
You had authentic.
We had authentic,
Riz.
Riz, and I wrote it down.
That's
Well, we'll
okay.
never know, will we? Because we don't have the audio.
No.
No, we don't.
I'm
but
surprised fubbing wasn't word of the year. A lot of people have been doing that lately.
That's true. Yeah. But we
Yeah, I
love
like
the
this one.
idea authentic because that's what we try to be for
I
this
know.
podcast.
yeah, it was authentic, and which had to do with AI,
And then Riz.
and Riz has to do with charisma or
Right, yeah.
charm.
Attractiveness.
And the other one was hallucinate, and that also had to do with
I don't think so.
AI.
No.
She
I don't
didn't
think
say
you
it.
said it, but that's okay. It is now. I think she's hallucinating.
Yeah.
Maybe I am. Maybe
She
I
dreamed
am.
it. She had a dream.
But, are we going to do a little banter besides just do we
sure.
have any bantering topics
Oh, we
at
have
all?
a ton of bantering, I'm sure.
Because, summing up the year 2023,
Yeah.
too, where are we and where are we going?
Yeah.
We're heading into an election year. I don't want to go completely political, but I think we should sum up a little bit
yeah,
of what's
yeah.
happened and where we are going. And right now we're in this state where Colorado and Maine has taken Donald Trump off of the ballot.
Yeah, it's
And
not gonna
that's-
fly.
I'm not sure, but is it wise? My thing is, is
that's
it a
the
wise
thing.
decision
That's
for them
the
to
thing.
do?
That's
Well,
what I
a lot
said.
of people are saying no, it is not,
Right,
because
right.
it's just making him be the victim
He's a
again.
martyr. He's making him a martyr.
Exactly.
And the
you know,
voters
he's
should
very-
be the one to have the choice. It should be
But
up
the
to
voters shouldn't have a choice if the person is a danger to democracy.
Right.
Sorry, that part I don't agree
But
with.
there is a
But-
clause in these states for the insurrectionist.
Exactly,
issue. And
but a lot of people are
is it-
saying, well, he hasn't been convicted of it, but I was listening today, and they said the Constitution doesn't say that you have to be convicted,
I was
just
gonna say that.
involved.
Exactly.
And
It doesn't
he
say
was
conviction,
involved.
people.
And I'm sorry, the man should not be running for president.
And there's another person that brought up the 22nd Amendment.
Oh, who brought that up? Do you
I
remember?
don't remember who it was. I saw it just real quick on the news, and they're saying
And what is the 22nd Amendment?
that you can't go for a third term as president. And if he says he won the second term presidency, then he's not eligible for another term.
I was wondering if somebody was going to try to link that up because
Yeah,
it is kind of
somebody
an
said that.
interesting.
If
Yeah.
he actually
Yeah.
thought he won,
Yeah, but
That's not going to
but
fly.
yeah, that's not
No.
going to fly because
But it's interesting.
he wasn't president.
He wasn't sworn in,
You know.
yet, as for the second term.
And that was all based on a lie anyway.
and all
so.
those people are saying
Yeah.
that.
But it's very interesting. I did hear, I was thinking about it, and then there was a gentleman, I don't remember his name, who gave words to my thoughts, whereas, is this something we should just leave for the people to decide? Because if
No, because the
this
people
state-
are stupid.
I know, I'm sorry. But
They elected him once
if you
before.
want Trump, you really need, to second it, because it is crazy. We have somebody who's really worked hard to overturn democracy.
Yeah.
Has said he's going to, he idolizes these dictators,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
wants,
He's a
he
would-be
wants to do
autocrat.
a lot of
Yeah.
the same things that happened with
And
other past dictators.
he's using
Yeah.
talking points that
Yes.
Hitler used.
Yes, and so why would we, anyway, but whatever, but is it the right move? And I could say, I see what he's saying, but I see what you say too.
Right,
Is
it's
that
a tricky-
because
it's a tricky
if we
thing.
leave him on, we are really in danger of having him win. And
Yeah,
if he
right.
wins, he'll be stronger.
Oh.
He'll, he's already got the allies. He's got popular. Look at the House, the leader of the House.
Oh my God.
But so many people that have worked with him have said he's dangerous,
He's very
I know.
dangerous.
and they're trying to warn us.
And they were part of the danger. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
These people were all in on it.
yes,
And now they're flipping on him because now
they
they're
see-
looking and say he's getting away scot-free and I'm going to go to jail for
Right.
this man.
right.
But I'm sorry, they all deserve to go to jail too. They were part of it. They
Right.
went along with it even though they knew all these conspiracies were
Caitlin,
false.
You even think Caitlin, is that her name, Caitlin? She gave testimony. She was in.
Oh yeah, Caitlin. His assistant. or
Yeah.
whatever she was.
You think she deserves to go to jail? She, I don't think she deserves.
She was the one that was the assistant to Mark Meadows. Are you talking about?
I think so. I think.
But
Yeah.
why not? Because we're sending these insurrectionists to jail who just showed up for the day at the call. Now I'm not saying that they just, but they did it at
Exactly.
They were involved one day. That woman was involved on
Every day she knew what was going on. Sorry,
I have
yes.
no problem if she goes
I don't
to jail.
either.
I really
You
don't.
ask me, we should be hanging them off at treason.
I really
Sorry,
don't.
I know
She
that's
should.
very extremist. But
I
they
think
were
that-
all traitors. They
Absolutely.
treasonous acts.
What the Democrats, though, should do, and we mentioned on the second podcast that the volume didn't go, and I wanted to say it again, is I think they really should look hard at Liz Cheney for vice president with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
If we have a shot at winning, they've got to put a very respectable
She would have
Republican
to drop out of
to
the
the heart.
Republican
She would-
Party.
I think she might.
But
She
I don't
might.
Think, but the
She
MAGA crowd is not going to vote.
The
for
MAGA
her.
won't, but the hardline conservatives that are true Republicans that may be enough to swing their vote to know that the second in line to the
And the
presidency would be him.
independents also,
And the
who aren't that
independents.
confident in Joe
I
Biden.
think that might do it for them, and I really think
Yeah.
he should do that. I would have no problem with that as a
Yeah.
very progressive-leaning Democrat. I
Right,
really
right.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
I really would have no problem with that.
I have a problem with
I
Biden
think-
running. I just wish Biden wasn't
No,
running.
that's what
but
I
it's
think
too
we're
late
what?
now. But
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I never have bugles
I'm
before.
sure-
They're delicious.
I'm
I'm
sure
in my
that-
name.
I'm sure that Joe Biden doesn't want to run either. Joe Biden is in his 80s.
I know.
Look what happened to him since he took office. The state of the world. Can you imagine being, what is he, 82 years old?
Yeah, I think so.
He-
so.
yeah.
82 years old and dealing with this crazy world that we're living in right
It's a
now.
crazy
Everything
world.
is blowing up around us.
Yeah.
There's probably going to
Look
be
what
another
happened to
war
his
in the
son,
Middle East.
too. I'm not whatever. Hunter, I'm sure he's deserving whatever he's going to get. But I really don't think it would have happened if Joe Biden would have been president.
Well,
He's
even
probably
if it
looking
did,
at
I
that
don't like, they're all looking at Joe Biden because
Yeah.
they want to impeach him because
Yeah.
of that. But after a year of investigating, they haven't found one shred of evidence
Right.
in linking Joe Biden to what his son and his brother did.
Yeah.
But, they're just,
But they want to keep looking.
I think for 2024, this is what needs to happen.
Tell us.
I think that women in this country underestimate their political power.
Hear,
We
hear.
have so much political power,
Absolutely.
and we need to step it up. We need to protect our rights, even if you're a pro-life person.
That's
You
okay
should
for you.
still.
That's okay.
fine.
That's
But you
awesome.
still should look at the general picture of women's rights.
Yeah.
How dare these people, mostly men, say that a woman does not have control over her own body?
It's horrible.
And
It's
if you look at the
And that's
history
step
of
one.
how this started, and I picked up a great book today, at Barnes & Noble, about the start of the abortion movement. I haven't read it yet, but it's about this very one woman. It really wasn't grounded at all in religion. The smart people who were against it, for the political, it was a power grab started by the medical field, upset of women practicing certain medicine.
Oh.
And women also having the option to get pregnant and terminate it. That's power. Then they can choose to not raise families. They can enter the workforce, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were becoming
Empowering
too
women.
powerful. So it was really a political movement. They leached on, like Trump did, leached on to the religious movement because that gives them their moral, authenticity. So in quotes, behind their movement, and latched that on. But it really, if you look into the historical roots of it, it's not on a religious basis.
Right.
And so it's trying to keep women from becoming powerful. And this is what you were saying. Women should tap into
and that's
it.
it's just repeating
Well, you
history.
go back like over 100 years, maybe 100 years ago and before, and how women's sexuality was suppressed. And that was also like a power grab by men.
Yeah.
Like they didn't want women.
In that book you read that I gave you,
Uh-huh,
right?
exactly.
If she enjoyed sex too
I
much,
know. It was,
then it's like you're in the mental hospital.
that book was wonderful. I recommended it to my sister
We're going to
Laura.
talk about it. So
I really, really loved that book,
I'm
and
glad.
I am not a nonfiction
I know,
reader, but it did. It read like a novel,
like a book.
and it really was.
So why don't we, because we're really...
Sorry, we went
No.
right in.
I know.
So why don't we talk about, we're going to look back on some of the books that we did, like some of our favorite books from 2023.
So should we, since we both mentioned
Yes,
it,
let's go.
one of my books, I took two, it's a
Let's go.
nonfiction, is, and I just talked about it, The Woman They Could Not Silence. The shocking story of a woman who dared to fight back.
Right.
And this,
And you might be familiar with the author because she
Oh, yeah.
wrote another
tell
best-selling
us what it
book,
was. Tell us.
Radium Girls.
Radium Girls, right. This tells the story, I'm not going to go the whole thing, but it tells the story of Elizabeth Packard. And this was in the 1800s, and it gives you a in-depth first-person view, essentially, because it's full with quotes and citations, and it comes from her letters, her own writings.
Her diaries.
You know, everything that they could find. And she wrote a lot for the time about what it was like being married to a man who was threatened by her power, her brain. And put her, even though she was a great mother, a great religion, she was very religious as well, but just believed in the New Testament rather than the Old Testament, and she was put into this mental hospital for years.
Because she had opinions.
Absolutely. And this book, it reads like a novel. Like, didn't you have to remind yourself, like, this was real?
I actually went on to iPage, Ingram iPage, and I said, this has got to be fictionalized, like historical fiction.
Yeah.
And I went on it because Carol and I talked about it on the phone.
Oh, you did?
And she said, no. She said, Judy said it was nonfiction. I said, Carol, I don't know. I'm reading this book and it sounds like historical fiction. I went on iPage. I looked it up and it said nonfiction, women's issues.
It was shelved in the history section of Barnes and Noble.
It was fantastic. I do not read
And you read it quick,
nonfiction.
right? Look how
I
quick
read it like I
So
can't
quick.
wait to find out what happened.
Right, that's how quick. I mean, I read this book like, oh, it's going to take me a month to read. No, it was so quick.
Yep.
No, I'm sorry. I just get so passionate about it. This book, and it is. I would give this to any woman that I know of that has a brain. Give it to you. Your teenagers can read it.
How about men?
Yeah,
Men
should read it too, because
Do they know
I
how to read?
get worried.
You made me spill.
I get worried we're coming back to this.
Yeah.
It's very
I
scary.
really am worried that with the type of men we're putting in power.
Yeah.
You know, that reminds
could
me
happen
of a
again.
line from of all the movies, Barbie. I watched the Barbie movie.
I did too.
And when Ken found out that men, about the patriarchy, because in Barbie land, like men were like women
We're
aren't.
like, I know, it was very brilliant.
And
they did
he
that.
was interviewing for a job, and he went into this lobby and was meeting this boss man. I guess he was an executive, and he said to the man, because I forget what the man said, that Ken said, you guys aren't really doing a very good job at the patriarchy. And the man said, and this is what struck me out of the whole movie. Oh, yes, we are. We just hide it better now.
Yeah.
And that actually sent a chill up my spine, because that's not so far from true.
It is the truth.
Yeah.
It is the truth.
So would you say that's your only book that you like from 2023?
No, I like so many books from 2023.
So did you pick another one?
Yeah.
I see something.
Oh, I might go on again right away?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is the one I did probably around this time, in January, so at the beginning, January 14th of 2023 was one of the first, is called Jamie Ford's The Many Daughters of a Fang Moi.
I did want to read it, but I
I'll
never
give
got
it
around
back to
to
you.
it.
I'll give it back to you when it's done, because I've recommended this book so much. And after a year, the fact that it still stays with me. And when I was trying to figure out what my favorite books are, so I did nonfiction. I had to, but fiction, I'd say this is it.
Okay.
This is really a very good book. It's by Simon and Schuster. It deals with epigenetic inheritance, which, if you might remember, is exploring through fiction the concept of how generational trauma passes through lineage.
That's right.
And that's based on actual science. You know, they talk about there's been science done with certain rodents and how they can do that. It works too the opposite way. Instead of trauma, it also works. They haven't mentioned that in here, but I've read studies recently with certain birds, like crows, can also remember when people are good to them over generations.
Oh, wow.
They can remember, and they can pass that knowledge on to people. They can also pass on the trauma. If crows also remember people that are negative to them, they can pass that on to as well. And it really starts with, just to give you a little teaser of this book, it starts with a nurse who is in war times. Oh,
no, don't be.
No, you saw that, right? I felt like she was rushing.
No, really. Hurry up, Judy.
No, it was stuck, and I was like, I'm listening, I'm just distracted.
She comes across this young soldier overseas, and he falls into her arms as he's dying, essentially, or wounded, and it's like, I found you. And she goes to his bedside, and I'm not giving anything away, and after he passes, you know, she goes through his pocket, going to try and find some contact information to notify family, pulls out a photograph of her as a little child.
Wow. Powerful.
And he's younger than her, and she has no idea who this person is.
So that's like a fantasy.
It's not, it is and it isn't. I have to say, you know me, and some experience I've had, I think it is and it isn't. Okay. That's why I think I'm drawn to this, because I can see this being real.
It's like early in 2023 you read that. And
it's still, I've recommended this dozens of times this year.
Well, you're going to have to lend it to me again. I brought it back because I knew that you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Excuse me.
Do you want to give this one to your sister to have too?
She lives in Delaware.
Oh,
so she said that she'd get it out of the library.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
So, right now I'm reading, because I never, Carol, you're going to love it.
You're going to love it. Absolutely.
Just hopefully I can read it sooner rather than later. I've got so many things.
Right now I'm reading The Color Purple, because I realized I never read it.
Oh, I love
Like,
that.
I've been seeing the trailers for all of the movies and the one that Oprah was in, and I said, I'm not going to watch these movies until I read the book. It really is. It's a wonderful, wonderful.
It is. It's wonderful.
Very heartbreaking book, too. So I'm reading
I haven't
right
seen
now.
the new movie, but I want to. And
the new movie is a musical. I'm not like a big musical person, so I don't know.
The old movie,
I think I'll watch the old one.
And the soundtrack, Quincy Jones's soundtrack, is like the soundtrack to my life.
Yeah.
I bought that many times because I've worn out the CDs, I've worn out the tapes. I'm interested to see what they do with the new music, but the original soundtrack, if you ever can hear it.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the first songs I've sang. It is the first song I sing to my children. Is one of the songs. It's just a melody, and it's the melody of life. It's so beautiful, that soundtrack.
Wow.
I would check it out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I used to read to Jessica. One of the first songs I was singing to her was actually a Sesame Street song.
Yay!
Yeah, it was a Rainy Day, it was called.
It's
a rainy day, it's a rainy day.
Oh, cheers to Sesame Street.
Yeah. Do you
Call
have
me
a book that you want
Sesame
to talk
Street.
about?
Well, I don't have them with me. I loaned you the Absolution.
Was I supposed to bring that back?
No,
Oh, you didn't tell me.
She was complaining about it
She didn't tell me.
before you got here, after we found out that you were going to be late.
No, that's so not true.
Oh.
Anyway, you can see. You want to correct it right now? You want to correct it right now? Correct it right now.
I'm being reprimanded.
Yes, you are.
See,
I'm lying.
I'm gonna have Cody.
I'm a liar.
The golden doodle. I'm taking care of.
He's sleeping over there.
Yeah, I know. Thank God. Anyway, I had a hard time choosing a book similar to what you did.
I know.
And so it was between The Sunflower by Simon Wiesenthal or Absolution by Alice McDermott. And the reason I picked The Sunflower is that I loved that we got a two-parter out of it.
I love that you chose that.
And I love the discussion that it inspired from the group. We had a book group here, and we all discussed it, and there was varying opinions on, forgiveness. Does someone deserve to be forgiven? And so it was a very interesting conversation. The book inspired a lot of conversation, so I did enjoy that very much.
I did too.
It's a
that was a
wonderful
very
book.
good discussion.
And I've read that book many times. I would agree with you. That book is wonderful. Yeah.
And then Absolution, I love Alice McDermott, and maybe it's just because it's more one of the more recent books that I read for the podcast. I'm like, I'm picking that one because it's so interesting. I just love that she doesn't dumb down her books. And it just was very well written, and it had some surprises in it. And it just recently came out, I think it was in October, so Absolution by Alice McDermott. And I don't have it to hold up, but I have.
I want to read that too.
Well,
so
I
when
do have
finished.
to say that book, The Absolution by Alice McDermott, and the book that Peggy's going to talk about, and I see it here and I won't give it to you, both appeared on a lot of readers' end of the year list. I'm part of the Modern Literature Society group on Facebook, and at the end of the year they ask readers to put their like top 10.
Oh, okay.
That book and that
this
one
one
mentioned appeared on people's
This
list,
was
which
great.
I'd like to read. Actually,
Yeah,
I would
I'll
like
lend
to
it
read
to you.
that.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I would like to
It
read
really
that
is
book.
great.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the one that I thought you were going to pick isn't there. So
I thought you would pick that one.
Okay, so anyway, I picked Hamnet
This is it.
by Maggie O'Farrell. She's a wonderful writer, and this is all about William Shakespeare, and the story revolves around his wife and his children. And it's kind of a very tragic story with
when you described it,
I was like,
interesting.
with a big twist in it that I never expected to happen. Two big twists.
Oh, wow.
The end and in the middle. Did you ever read it?
No, I would like to.
It is a wonderful book, and you guys should borrow it. I was so impressed with this book and the story and learning about, because it is, it's based on William Shakespeare real life and his children. So I'm not going to say much more about it because I will give things away, but I just loved it.
Yeah.
It was my favorite book that I read this year, along with one that I didn't review. I never got around to reviewing this book.
Well, then you can't share that now.
Yes, you
I
can.
can.
No,
Well,
no,
I'll
no,
just
no,
tell
no,
you the name.
Share it in
Another book was All the Broken Places, and this is by John Boyne, and he also wrote The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Oh, yeah.
So this book revolves around people who were somewhat involved in the Holocaust. And I won't say any more because I will bring it up. This actually was given to me on an airplane trip on the way home from London. Carol and I were on the plane, and the man who was sitting next to me, we started talking, and it turns out that he was in publishing, and I introduced him to Carol, and he said, her name is so familiar. And it turns out that they were friends on Facebook, and he worked for Penguin Random House formerly. He was retired. And we started talking, and I told him that we were former booksellers, and he had just finished this book while he was sitting next to me. And he said, here, take it. He said, I bought it in London. And I said, it was great. I really, really did love it. So I'll discuss it on another podcast, but I recommend it if you see it at the bookstore.
I thought you were going to do the Crow book. Oh, what's her name?
Oh, I know,
that appeared on the book.
one.
That appeared on I have that book.
I love that
I didn't
book.
read it yet, but that appeared on the list.
That book was...
What's the title again?
It's called the... something of crows. It's oh my God.
I can find it.
Margaret Renkl.
Yeah.
It's the something of crows.
Just give me a second.
It's all nature essays that she wrote.
See, I was sure that's the one you were going to
You know what? I was looking through all my books and I said, oh my God, I could pick this. The Comfort of Crows.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And it's all essays that Margaret Renkl wrote. She also does opinion pieces in the New York Times, and most of them are about conservation, about observations from her own backyard. That's what this book is. And some of the stories were so enlightening. It made me feel wonderful, and some of them were like so sad. And oh my God, what are we doing to our own environment? But I highly recommend The Comfort of Crows.
Well, real quick, since we're talking about books, I do have the New York Times book review section where they interview authors and they ask them some questions. and I want to see what your answers are
Okay.
for this.
I went
What
to-
books are on your nightstand right now?
Oh,
I'm reading The Color of Purple
Okay.
right now, so
I
that's
have
the one that's
one that
there.
I just finished, which I was going to talk about today. I'll talk about next time. It's called Quiet Until the Thaw, which I can highly recommend.
What's it called?
Quiet Until the Thaw,
Oh, okay.
which is by, I think her name is Alexandra Fuller.
Okay. Oh,
But-
I know that name.
No, she's
I know that name.
Yeah,
She's
awesome.
so good. And that book, I got it drawn to the title because it's based upon one of my favorite poems, a poem that hangs in my bathroom called Quiet Until the Thaw, which I can recite by heart, what I'll do later. But the book was excellent, and it did the poem justice. The second one that I'm reading now, fiction, is something with happy. We were so happy. I'm having a hard time getting into it. We were so happy, I believe is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
I'm about 100 page into it. It's like a 400-page book.
Okay.
It's reminding me of what you talked about last time, where there's a lot of characters,
Oh, okay.
and so I'm having a little
I
hard
talked
time
about it, but
getting
you
into
couldn't
it.
hear, so I'm going to
Right.
read it.
But that's and Stephen Hawking's.
Oh, okay.
Brief History of Time. I finished the first
Yeah.
one, but it's a part 2, so
Oh,
I'm on
okay.
the second one. So it depends on my mood. I have
Okay.
what I want to.
And I'm
read.
going to only ask one other question because I know anyway. I need recommendations from you two. What classic novel would you recommend for me to read? A classic novel
Jane Eyre. I love
Jane
Jane
Eyre.
Eyre. It's one of my favorites.
I'm gonna write
Or
that.
Lord of the Rings, the trilogy.
Okay, classic novel.
Mm-hmm.
What it depends.
Great Expectations.
Right.
It depends on what.
David
Is it for you
Yeah. What would you recommend to me?
right now?
Sure.
I think that you're more a Jane Eyre person than a Lord of the Rings person.
Mhm.
The
Okay.
trilogy.
I would recommend 2 books for you.
Okay.
One is Persuasion by Jane Austen.
Okay.
The other one is
I
called.
have that.
Do you? It's,
I have it too.
It's excellent.
I'm not a big fan of Jane Austen.
Well, I am.
Okay.
And so, Sylvia's Lovers by Elizabeth Gaskell.
I've never heard of that one.
Lovers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those 2 books are amazing. Absolutely amazing. If anybody were to get it, you would get them. And, sorry. Middlemarch by George
Okay.
Eliot.
Right.
Which
okay.
wasn't a woman. Which wasn't
Yeah,
a man. She was
right.
really a woman.
Yeah. Are there any classics that you know that are out there that you haven't read that you should have read or that you
Yes.
think you should have read?
Oh, Jane Austen. I tried to read some of her books and I said, oh,
and I
my
read
brain
all of
is
them.
bleeding.
Oh, I love
I know because
them.
Janelle was a big fan of Jane Austen and I
she
tried.
is.
And I don't know, I like it when they make them into movies. I enjoy them, but
No, they don't do
her
it right.
writing is like,
It's like
yeah. I
No,
mean,
it's
as
not.
Charlotte Bronte, I think
I love Bronte. Yeah.
I love Jane Eyre. It's one of my favorite books.
I love Jane Eyre. Too. I
Uh-huh.
like Jane Eyre.
It's
but
a great
I think
story.
Austen's best.
Yeah. I think Bronte is better.
There's
But I
some
did
Charles
buy
Dickens novels I
Persuasion
should-
like over a year ago and it's still sitting
it's the
there.
smallest of her books.
Yeah, and it's
So
making-
I
I
have
keep-
a whole collection
Yeah.
in my spare bedroom.
Persuasion was the first Jane Austen novel I read, and it hooked me so
Yeah.
much that I spent the rest of the summer reading every novel I could get of hers.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I
I'm gonna
started
have to
on
take it.
that.
I have it on my bookcase. And I keep on saying, should I read this one now? Let's give her another chance.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes it's where you are in your
It's
life.
where you are in your
Exactly.
life.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I was like that with a couple of John Irving books, and then I was like,
Yeah,
and then I got into
yeah.
them.
Some
I
of
would like to
them
read
I
some
and
more Dickens. I only
Yeah.
read a few.
love
I
Charles
haven't read,
Dickens.
I read Hard Times, but I haven't read David Copperfield.
David
and I think I
Copperfield,
should read
Great
that.
Expectations,
Yeah,
and
I
all
should.
of his Christmas stuff
I
is
read
great.
it, but I haven't read David Copperfield.
Yeah.
I would like to read that.
Yeah,
How about
David
you?
Copperfield is great.
No, I haven't. Christmas Carol. That's about it. But I have to read more. Okay, another question. What are your hopes for 2024?
I hope. Can I say this out
No,
loud?
no.
Okay, I can't
No.
say.
Why?
Oh, I know what she wants to say.
Oh, I want to know.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I do.
No, she does want to know.
No.
No, I want to know.
Okay, I'll clean
We're
it up.
authentic. Come
I
on.
hope that Donald Trump does not win the primary.
Yeah.
How's that for
Yeah.
cleaning up something?
You definitely cleaned it.
Were you going more morbid?
Oh my God, I was going extreme.
Yeah, we don't want her arrested.
No.
Okay, and Judy, what's your hope for 2024?
I'm always hopeful.
Well, that's good.
I since you already said it, I'll piggy off yours, but then I get a new one too, because I support yours.
Yeah, I support yours too, obviously.
I know. I mean, there's so many things to hope for.
There's
You
so
look
many
at what's
things.
going on with Russia and Ukraine, what's going on with Israel and Gaza.
But let's
It's just
personally.
horrible.
What do you? Personally.
I hope my foster dog gets a really loving home.
Oh, that's so
Actually,
good.
I really
Yeah.
do. She deserves
Yeah.
it, and
That's good.
and I was
That's
so
good.
scared to take her in but I'm glad I did.
Yes.
But I really hope, because she's been through so much, that she can
Yeah.
find a good person or family that could just give her what she needs. I really
Yeah.
hope
She deserves it.
she deserves it.
Yeah.
And I put this out there, whoever adopts her, you get lifetime pet sitting services for free with me. So anytime you go away or anything
Yeah.
I would take her, no questions asked.
Judy, I like
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's
a
my
good
immediate.
bonus. Yeah.
That's an immediate need,
Yeah.
I guess I
Yeah.
wish, because she is really sweet. My
Yeah.
heart breaks for her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she was
that's
so
awesome.
malnourished that her whiskers all fell out. She's got no whiskers.
Oh.
That's how bad she
Do they
was.
grow back?
I don't know. I'm hoping, but if not, she's still cute without them.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how malnourished she was.
Yeah.
Poor baby.
That's
Poor
a shame.
people are
Yeah.
horrible.
Anyway,
Well,
so there you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I think you both know what my hope is.
But yours is coming
I
true.
know, yeah.
Yes, it is.
coming
But I
true.
want it to be a success. I'm looking forward to promoting, before she was a Finley, the prequel to my novel Without Grace. And I got a really nice email from my publisher yesterday, I think it was, and he said both he and the copy editor really loved the book, and that was
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
that made me feel really good. And so I got the manuscript back from them, and there's really no major notes there's
good.
maybe
You don't want to change any
no, there's
major
a comma
characters.
here, or some of the comments no, a comma should be there, or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
So
Wow,
it was
that's good.
we did a good job as
You
a
did.
beta test.
That's
You're
right.
Beta
We
readers.
did. We were
Yeah.
her, what did we call
Beta
them?
Beta
readers.
readers. Yeah, no. So I'm
Yeah.
hopeful for that, and I am. That's personal.
Not to say that she didn't do a good job writing it.
Thank you for clarifying that. We wrote the whole book.
It's really, I think, now that I know, it's my favorite piece of writing. That
Yeah,
you
me
wrote.
too.
It is
And I
staying
agree.
with. I want to recommend it. That's another book
Yeah.
I recommend. I wish I could say, here's this book, or go buy this
Right.
because it's one of my
we'll
favorite
be able
books.
to say that in 2024.
Absolutely.
It's such
Absolutely.
a great story. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah, it's a good
So
story.
what do you think? We've gone over 45 minutes. Are we done?
I just wanted to talk, because we didn't
Shall
talk
we do
about
questions?
any of our past ones, and
Last
I
one,
just want
Oh,
our
yeah.
past podcast, and I did go through my my little podcast book.
Right.
I got a new book for
Oh.
Christmas. I bought it for myself. The notebook, and it says smart things I'm going to say later.
Oh, yes.
That's
Because
fine.
this is the book that I write down when I do research on the podcast. And I looked through it and I said, well, I had a lot of favorite ones. But my favorite, the one that really made me change the way I do things, that had more of an effect on my personal life, was the one about food waste. Because I really did it. I mean, I
Oh,
compost
good for
my
you.
food scraps.
That's
We
great.
have a compost heap. I have very little waste when I'm throwing out my garbage twice a week. Sometimes I say, oh, there's only a little bit in this bag.
Wow.
And I freeze my leftovers. Instead of letting
That's
them
so
rot in the refrigerator,
Good for you.
I portion them, put them in the
And that's
freezer,
nice, that's
and
nice
then
to have.
it sure is. Some nights I said, "Oh, dinner, throw it out, throw it
Yeah.
out, and heat it up."
Yeah.
So that's the one that really had an effect on my life.
Oh, okay. That's really
You know.
interesting. I like
Yeah.
that.
So
Very
I had a couple of them I loved, of course. Ben Franklin.
Well, that one is just hysterical.
I
Yeah.
gave her 2 Ben Franklin
Yeah,
books today.
she did.
Yeah. I should have went through our podcast because
Yeah.
I'm confused. Like, was it this past year or was it the other
We've
year?
been doing it for so long.
I know.
I
we
know.
have
I
been.
figured out I'm gonna do it more, but some of them I wrote down the date when it was, so I knew the food waste one. I wasn't
Okay.
sure. It was January 14th of last year.
Oh, see, the January.
So,
that was,
yeah.
See?
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So
Yeah. No.
yeah. So I have
about
all
yours,
of these.
Carol?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I guess I do like the sunflower one. I do
Oh,
like
Yeah,
we
that
got
was a really
that was
great
lovely.
one.
The only problem, it didn't look that good on film. It's because it was such a crowded
Yeah.
room, and
We
it
gotta
just,
get better.
Yeah, it was
didn't,
fine.
Yeah, it didn't look good at all. But the conversation was
The
good.
substance
The
was
substance was good. The dialogue was good.
These were my favorites. Sunflowers was the next one because it was all
okay.
about forgiveness.
good.
Ben Franklin, and then
Bar
I
joke.
did the one on jokes.
Oh,
And I
that's
love
right.
that bar, the bar jokes. I just thought it was funny.
How about you?
I think the one that we did, it was my topic was Susan B. Anthony.
Oh, that was
Ah,
I
okay.
like that
Yes,
one. I
that
think
was
I learned a
interesting.
lot when I went there.
Mhm.
I think a lot of the viewers responded well to that one too. I think it struck home with that. There was a lot of interest in that. And I just thought it was a timely, trying to remind us of where, as we leave 2023, as we go to 2024, to remind us as women,
Yes.
there were many strong
powerful.
women that came before
Mhm.
us. Talking about Elizabeth Packard from,
Mhm.
the woman they kind of silent, Susan B. Anthony, many of the women that go unnamed. But
Yes.
we have a power,
Mhm.
and she was one of them, and to see what she did.
She changed so many things. When you read this
Yeah.
book, she
can't wait.
I know, my mind is blown.
I know.
I'm so
And I
grateful
never heard
to
of
Kate
her.
Moore.
I never heard of her.
kills me.
That's
You
the
don't know
problem.
of her.
Yeah.
You don't know of her. And
Well,
right.
I have
I'm
to
making a point of reading more novels by people
Yeah.
about women I don't
Well,
know.
it's so
Yeah.
funny because I'm starting a list of women who made a mark in history that we don't hear of,
Yeah.
yeah.
and I'm going to probably do a podcast on
I
that.
picked up 2 books today
Yeah.
from yesterday from the history section that,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
about
great.
again, women we don't know about.
That's great.
But again, there's going to be hundreds of thousands we still don't know.
No, exactly.
But I
Absolutely.
think that was one of my more favorite ones.
Right. Okay. All right. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
One of the things I remember doing about instead of a wine review, like I did, I made a gin gimlet, and it was such an interesting history
I liked
of
it.
the gin gimlet
Yeah.
in the British Navy,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
that was a really interesting
That was
one
good.
too. I
That
really
was
liked
good.
that.
And I did like the culture one, and I liked that your brother was here and he weighed in on it.
Yeah.
And that one.
And Lisa was Lisa was our interview, but it just turned out my brother, who is still in the
In
Philippines,
Philippines.
he'll be coming home in a few days.
Oh wow. Cool.
But yeah, it's just we could all relate to that in some way,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
and that was because our society is American. We
are a melting pot, and
Our
we forget.
melting pot, and
So
we try to
many
fight it,
people.
but
So many people forget.
Yes, we do. Well, I want to end on a happy note, so
Okay.
I'm going to read the bar joke that I like.
oh yes, I
For
probably
our
forgot it. I
podcast.
can never remember this.
Okay.
stuff.
2 eggs, a bagel, and a sausage walk into a bar. Bartender, my friends and I would like a cold one. The bartender replies, sorry, we don't serve breakfast. It's funny.
It is funny. I love
It's
that.
funny.
I love it.
Happy New
Year.
Year.
Here's to 2024.
Yes.
Woo!
Please subscribe to us.
Hi, guys.
We
Do you
need
know
your
that the
viewers.
podcast is
We really
over?
do. Especially me.
You sound very desperate here.
We
I'll
need
be
your
ready.
viewers.
Yes.
Bye,
Bye. Oh, look at the dogs.
Oh,